I'm with Paushali Lass, and we're here in an army base in Israel. And you've came over from Germany during a time of war. Why are you here at this army base at this moment?
Well, first of all, this is not my first time to Israel since the war started. So for me, it's quite natural to come to Israel and support, and this time in the army base because, I pray for the soldiers of Israel, and the IDF really gets such a bad rep in the world for whatever reason because of all the false narratives that's out there in the media. And I'm here to support them, support the soldiers, and tell them you're not alone. We have a great group of Germans coming and also just sharing the love and joy with the soldiers to tell them that they are not alone. And I think it's important for me to do that.
It's very important to let them know that people outside support the work that they're doing here in Israel, isn't it?
Exactly. And as I said before, there's so much negative press about the IDF and really rubbish lies, about the IDF, that they are like terrorists and whatnot. And so it's very important for me to come here, not only just show them the support, but also go back to the world and share the real story of IDF. They are the most moral army in the world.
You came here with pizza. Tell us what you've been doing.
Yeah, we ordered some pizzas, and just so that the soldiers could all come in the main common area, and we're just sharing pizzas with them, just over some nice chat, getting to know them. They're like great bunch of men and women. Yeah, so it's just having some fellowship really with them.
And you're having something special tonight. What are you doing?
Well, that's a surprise still, but we're just having some fun with music, dance, because this is a unit mainly comprised of reservists, and they've been, some of them have been more than 200 or some even probably 300 days away from home. They all have families, with children or some without children, but, they're all like in their jobs. They've left their jobs and businesses and families to come and defend their country. So we want to bring them joy. We want to do that through music, dance, and just some fun stuff planned for the evening.
Is this building good Jewish-Christian relations?
Yes, absolutely, because actually today I've got a group of, it just happened so that we are a group of Christians coming from mainly Germany, and we are here to support the army, which is not just made of Jewish soldiers. In fact, we just met a Christian soldier as well. But there are Druze, there are Muslims, there are Jews, all serving in the IDF, but primarily Jewish soldiers. And everybody's just so touched by the love they see from Christian supporters of Israel.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do they respond when someone like you comes all the way from Germany and comes to visit them?
I think they are super touched, because that's the only way I can explain that we are getting to experience the base as we are today. We've got a chance to see things that no civilians are really allowed to come and check out, and that's only because they really feel the love and support, and they are so touched by just by us being here. Yeah.
And what sort of things have you seen today on the base?
Well, there are some things I guess I'm not allowed to say, many things, but like shooting range and the kind of combat vehicles they have, and also how they do urban warfare, like when they go into some of the towns, be it in Gaza or be it in the Judea-Samaria region, and how they enter the houses, and how maybe the grenades are lit off, and also it was just fun looking at all that and seeing the combat vehicles, and exactly.
And you got a chance to travel in the combat vehicles as well.
Exactly, that was like my dream come true. So it was really pretty cool, just to see how it's not just bulletproof, but you also have the ability to sort of shoot from inside through a hole, but unless it's fully bulletproof, you can just get shot at any time. And so it was just really interesting, and sitting in some really cool vehicles which are also used in Gaza, like where the soldiers can stay there up to 2 or 3 days inside the vehicle. It's crazy, but that's life for them.
That must be quite something, actually, staying in the vehicle.
Absolutely. It was just, as I said, it's all surreal for me now, I've only seen those things in, I don't know, in the media or in movies or TV series like Fauda, and I get to experience that, so it's just absolutely cool, yeah.
How is the anti-Semitism in Germany today?
It's getting worse. I think Germany, probably of many other Western nations, the government is still pretty solid on supporting Israel. So they do take measures, but I have to say, certain parts of Berlin, for example, it's just so bad because it's anti-Semitism coming from all sides, really. There is the Islamist anti-Semitism, there is the left anti-Semitism, extreme right-wing, and it's kind of getting out of control. I mean, maybe it's not as bad as some other countries in Europe, but it's getting bad. And as I said, some parts of Berlin you just cannot even move. It's not safe for Jews, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah. It's in fact the police head of Berlin. They announced that a couple of days ago in the press that Jews and LGBTQ people should avoid certain areas of Berlin.
This must be quite shocking considering Germany's past history. It must be really sad to see that we're sort of not really learning anything. And were you shocked what happened in Holland with the pogrom as well, in Europe?
I wasn't shocked. I was not surprised. It was just sad. But yeah, I was still very... It was terrible waking up to news like that, and that it's also Amsterdam is actually very close to where I live. So it's kind of like when it hits you home, it's not that easy. And I have lots of Jewish friends, and I know many in the Jewish community in Düsseldorf, and they are scared. They are really scared. The fear is real, and understandably so. So it's not funny anymore. But again, for politicians, I think the German politicians are they are quite pro-Israel and they do take measures, but I think we are past that time of just saying words, because just words will not help the Jews who are scared for their lives, their children cannot go to school without being, in panic and things like that. Yeah, words, we are past words, and it's just sad that it is the way it is in a country which said never again is now, but it is really now. So,
After being in Israel since October the 7th, you're back here again and you've visited this base, this IDF base. What's the message you're going to take back to Germany?
Well, first of all, I also have friends who in Israel, Israeli mothers, every day. You see, it's not just the hostage situation that's bad enough, for Israel. They're fighting war in the north. They're getting attacked from the east, south, everywhere. And every day people are losing somebody's son is dying, somebody's daughter is dying, and mostly sons, somebody's husband is dying, somebody's father is dying. And this mourning is just, so I want to continue sharing the truth with the world that I live in the West, in Germany, and just say, don't look away, because Israelis are still mourning. I mean, it's October, whatever, it's more than a year, and it's 412 days, and it's crazy. Not only are the hostages still in Gaza, but also soldiers are dying every day, and so Israel is still mourning, still bleeding. Do not forget them, and do your research. Do not believe in lies, because IDF is the most moral army, and if you want to know more, I'm very happy to tell you more in detail.
And it is a reality, isn't it, that that Israel has been sucked into a war that they didn't want, and sons and daughters are being killed in battle, isn't it?
Absolutely. And just yesterday I was with a friend out in Jerusalem for dinner, and whose son is in Lebanon, and it's just, she doesn't know. She doesn't even get to hear from her son. It's just like once every couple of days they get to hear from the commander of the army just to say whether, that their son is living or not. And what sort of would you accept living like this in your country? This is a young son. This is a mother of young son who's, in your country, your son of that, let's say 19, 20-year-olds, they are in the university, and here they are serving in the army, where their parents do not even know whether they'll see their son next day, So that is a hard reality, and what really troubles me and makes me so sad beyond words is that the world has gone against such people who are mourning, and instead of comforting, people have just gone against such people. So it's,
And the reality is, it's not actually two armies fighting each other, is it? It's actually one army fighting a terrorist organization, and you don't know who the terrorist is.
Exactly, because there are so many civilians. Yeah, civilians and terrorists, how do you distinguish? There are so people living in the West Bank, Palestinian territories, or Gaza, or even in other countries. They are so full of hatred towards the Jews, this baseless hatred. And so it's actually one army is fighting terrorists, but that army has been dragged into this situation. They did not want war. Israel has not started any war. So, I just keep meeting Israelis who say all they want is to live in peace. So, yeah, it's just crazy what's going on.
Do you see this as a spiritual battle?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Just yesterday I was walking around on the Temple Mount, and again, you see if there is apartheid anywhere, you see there, because Jews and non-Muslims are not allowed to pray. And also in Hamas or other terrorist organizations, you see always the Dome of the Rock in their posters and all. So it is a battle for Jerusalem, for the holiest site. And so it's like whatever God has established, the enemy just wants to build a counterfeit of that. And it's just so sad that the world believes in that. And so many Christians have even fallen for it, which just doesn't make any sense. But
what is your prayer for the IDF soldiers today?
For protection, of course, every day that when they go out on missions, even my friend and his colleagues, they're all going out on a night mission, and I pray every day that they're kept alive and they come back alive. So yes, protection, and that they would actually also lean on Hashem, the God of Israel, to help them. Yes, because this is the promised land and promised people of God, and there is an inheritance, and anybody who's willing to live in peace is welcome to do so. So I just pray for God's protection upon these blessed IDF soldiers.
Because God is protecting the land. We've seen 2 attacks from Iran. Hardly any damage. I think we have seen maybe 1 person or 2 people killed, not many, but so we do see that God is protecting, even though thousands and thousands and thousands of rockets are coming into Israel, aren't we?
Absolutely. It's a miracle. I mean, just yesterday or day before, I saw another Hezbollah rocket hit a kindergarten playground in North Israel, and again, no one was killed. So it's just like divine protection all the time. So may God continue to protect and bless the soldiers of Israel. And now that I've come to one of my friends who's a reservist here, and to the base, and get to know all his colleagues, I'm just more than ever convinced that it's just, they're fantastic people, and let them please pray that they go back to their homes. They don't have to be out serving.
That's a drone going past. We've got a drone going past at the moment. Well, Paushali, thank you very much for sharing today.
Yeah, you're most welcome.